The first is Nell Green. Nell, come on up. Nell is with the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, has served as a missionary, and now is in our city, and focuses on a number of social justice issues, particularly related to women and trafficking and things like that. So, Nell, I just want to say thank you for taking time to come and to be with us. Now, human trafficking is discussed in the media a lot these days. A few years ago we didn't hear anything about it, but today there's a lot of attention focused on it. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Sure. Well, one of the things I like to do just to bring home the reality of it is to show these keys. These keys I picked up off the floor of a brothel here in Houston after it had been busted, where 83 women and girls were rescued. The reality is that it is all around us in the city of Houston, and it's not just sex trafficking, it's labor trafficking. The Department of Justice estimated just a few years ago that 1 in 4 of all victims of human trafficking in the United States pass through the city of Houston at some point in their trafficking experience. So we know that we are a hub for human trafficking. A lot of people try to say that we're the #1 city in the United States for human trafficking. Well, that's going to be really tough to say because it's such a hidden crime and because there are other cities that rank right up there. But we do know for certain that we are one of the major hubs. A lot of reasons for that. Interstate 10, #1 corridor for human trafficking, major seaport, major airports, and the reality is that we are in close proximity to the border with a beeline straight down Highway 59, which makes it an easy path for people who are crossing the border to get to Houston.
What about churches? What can churches specifically do? Because, I mean, part of what's going through my mind is, okay, I'm a pastor either in inner city or out in the suburbs. A lot of this is going to go on in downtown hotels and things like that. Our folks aren't going to be a part of it. How can we be involved? I mean, I know we can pray, but are there other things that we can do?
The city of Houston has got to begin addressing the sex industry. You may not know that we have more sexually oriented businesses per square mile than the city of Las Vegas. That drastically becomes more and more frequented when you have big events like this, the porn shops, etc. We need to begin addressing that. And churches can be doing that in their neighborhoods, wherever they are. Because we're without zoning, that means that these shops can be absolutely anywhere. So to begin to address porn openly in our churches and begin to deal with that as one of the things that leads to human trafficking. I have magnets. This has been very successful. Pick up a bunch of magnets, take it to your church. Everybody should know the human trafficking hotline, 888-3737, 888. Teach your congregation the signs and symptoms. Whether you know it or not, you're seeing it. Look at what massage parlors are like. Are they closed up? Can women get massages there? Or is it only men? Are they open all hours of the night? Begin to just look around and use the human trafficking hotline. So do an outreach with us. Learn the human trafficking hotline, teach it to your folks, begin to use it, look in your neighborhood, see what you might need to report. Absolutely. Another thing that churches can do on a long-term basis is to realize the connection that's happening between Houston and the border. We have formed a coalition called Coalition to Combat Human Trafficking, Texas Gateway Destination Cities. The premise is this: Houston is purchasing people as a city. We're purchasing people to work in our hospitality industry. We're purchasing people for sex. If we're going to purchase people, then we need to be willing to come alongside where those folks are getting lost in this web, and that's in our border cities. We're currently working in Eagle Pass, Laredo, and in the Valley area. What we're trying to do is get help quick on the border before they ever get lost here. And one of the things that we've done is produced a minister's human trafficking toolkit. Folks are showing up on pastors' doorsteps down along the border in the middle of the night, needing some food, bitten by snakes, deep cuts. They're coming across victims all the time, but they're not getting help there. And by the time they get to Houston, they're lost. Be a part of that coalition. Come alongside your churches on the border and help them have the resources and the tools that they need so that we can get help quick on the border before they ever get lost up here.
You mentioned earlier that it's not just sex trafficking, it's also human trafficking,
Labor trafficking.
labor trafficking. Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What's going on and what we need to do?
Sure. So many little simple things that we can teach people. Do you frequent a restaurant where it seems that the busboys or the people servicing the tables change frequently? Well, that's not really normal. Maybe you should ask some questions as somebody comes up to the table. Oh, hey, how long have you been here? Where are you from? Do you have family in the area? Our nail salons. I've reported several nail salons here. When you go get your nails done, oh, hey, what country are you from? Do you have family here? That's a lovely necklace that you're wearing. Where did you get it from? People who can't answer those kinds of questions, or they don't want you to be seen asking those questions, that's a sure sign that possibly something can happen. So our restaurants and our nail salons are where the average person can really encounter folks who are being trafficked. But they're in our construction industry, they're in our agricultural fields, there's a lot of hidden places where they work. But we undoubtedly encounter victims of human trafficking just in our day-to-day work. So labor trafficking is real. We do encounter it. We just need to perk our ears up. And we need to know the human trafficking hotline. I never encourage anybody to rescue. Please don't. That's the job of law enforcement. But you can help law enforcement by getting this hotline number out there and by getting phone calls made. We actually have become one of the top cities for using the hotline now because awareness has grown so much, and that's an awesome thing.
Now, I know you referred earlier to the city of Houston, and this really is an area of common grace. They care about these kinds of issues because it's good for the city, for the economy, and other things. But we as a church also care about these things. And this is a place where we can partner together with the city of Houston.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say about that?
No, but I will tell you that the city's resources are free. They're on a website, houstontrafficking.org. All you have to do is go, you'll sign a little something that says you are using their materials, and then you can print it off and do with it, use it in appropriate ways. It's very simple for a church to use those materials and then to do little simple awareness things. And that's what we're here for. We're your field personnel. If you decide you want your church to be involved in something like that, you only need to give us a call and we'll be happy to help you make it happen.